I spent years hiding behind this notion that I wasn't worthy to be seen, that I wasn't good enough, that there was some box that I had to fit in, and that I couldn't outshine others around me. And what that looked like and how that showed up in my life has definitely taught me some lessons. And in today's video, I want to share how getting older has changed my perspective on insecurities. I want to discuss 3 different perspectives or 3 different stories I want to share that has shaped the way that I think about life and how, from a conversation I had with a new friend that I made, how it's more about depth in getting older and how that all ties together that helps you to learn how to, I don't want to say outgrow, but kind of overcome some of these notions that could build up over time. And sometimes what happens is when we grow up and when we live through life, we have family, friends, society, people, and they all have a message that or maybe something that they expect from us or want us to be. And sometimes those things could come from, sometimes what we believe in could come from what we think others expect from us. And I want to kind of share some stories that has changed my perspective in life and that has helped me to kind of see the world a little bit different. And I have some notes here, so if I look down, I just wanted to make sure I wrote down each of those topics so I wouldn't forget. So the first one was, one of the first lessons that I want to share is what happened when I started to get on camera. Now, these few videos that I've been creating on here isn't the first time I've attempted to be in front of the camera. I have been a photographer for 11 years since this day of posting this video, and what I've learned is that especially from going from behind the camera all the time, learning to direct people and how to pose, how to appear on camera, and then myself being the person who is in front of the camera, it has taught me a lot. And I was looking back at some old footage of myself, and there was this video that I attempted, and in that video I held up my camera and I was speaking to it, and I was like, oh, this is just so weird. Like, the fact that I have that is kind of crazy, because that's the feeling we often go through in life when we're doing something new, something strange, something that is out of our comfort zone. It's like you do it for the first time, you're like, this is just weird. And I think that's just a natural body response to change, a natural body response when you want to grow. And I think it makes you, when you learn how to push past the feeling, that natural feeling of this is weird, this is awkward, and then you kind of go through and you're like, okay, this is not too bad. You start to teach yourself, your body, that change is okay, that life is not meant to be stagnant, life is not meant to be the same. And that's a very important lesson. And I think for people who are maybe younger or who are going through, maybe you're just stepping into college, and or maybe you're just graduating and this is a whole new chapter in life. Like, now that you're not in school, there's no expectation to submit something at 11:59 every single week, or try to Make sure maybe you're going from being an athlete to civilian or whatever you want to call it. Maybe you're coming out of the new season of your life, maybe out of a relationship or into a relationship. Whatever that change, that transition that you're in, sometimes it could feel weird, sometimes it can be uncomfortable. But instead of just thinking about, oh no, this is weird, and panicking, I think just taking some time to allow your body to adjust through that period is important, and not trying to move too fast, too quickly, too soon is very helpful, because I've used to try to go from the next to the next to the next, and oftentimes my body would have to catch up to me, and a whole bunch of emotions would come at one time. And I think I've learned from getting older that it's okay to slow down sometimes. You don't have to be Roadrunner. There's no rules. There's no, like, you are the person who gets to dictate what you want in your life. So that was one of the first things that I've gone through, and I wanted to touch on the second one, which is perfection versus intention. From someone who had to perform a lot in her life, or felt like she had to perform a lot in her life, sometimes what happens when you feel like you have to be perfect, or you either get that from outside, or you learn to internalize it, and you've conditioned yourself to believe that was who you are. And then when you kind of get older, at least this is from my perspective, you get older and then you realize, hey, who wrote these rules? Do I still believe these rules? Do I want to feel this way, or live life this way? And if the answer is no, I don't want to try to be perfect all the time. I just want to be intentional with myself and my life and the things that I do. You'll start to realize that you can shift your life a lot more than I think you gave yourself credit for. So there was a time in college when I had this project, and it was in my early years of studying. I went to school for graphic design, and I was at the can't remember what the room was, but it was like a computer lab room where we had all of our computers that we would work on, and overnight I would, or after hours or whatever, I would be there, and I would be creating or doing homework assignments and stuff like that. And I liked the room because it's quiet and everything, and the computers were nice. So there was an assignment and a project I was working on, and at that time my professor was there too, because he was always there. And there was another professor who wasn't I didn't have a class with him, but him and my other professor were pretty close or whatever. So he was there, and they were having a conversation. He was walking in, and I was working on my project. And I don't know exactly how this came up. Maybe he was seeing what I was doing on my computer, but I've been working on that project for some time, and he was like, what you working on? What's happening? I'm like, I'm just trying to get this right. I think I was just talking about like feeling it wasn't good enough, it wasn't right, whatever. Trying to make sure certain lines or things were made or created well. And the moment, this thing that he told me, I don't know, it was like, sometimes when people say stuff and it's just a light bulb, it's like you probably heard it a million times or you've heard it in different ways, but just this moment, this time someone said it, it finally clicks. And like, I was working on the project, on the assignment, and he was saying, what do you work on? How's it going? Whatever. And I was like, I just want this to be perfect. I just want it to be good enough. And then he said, it's never going to be perfect. He said that in art, as an artist and as creative, nothing will ever be perfect. You're going to create something, it's going to be good enough, and then I promise you, you'll always find something that could change about it. You're always going to find something that could be improved. You're always going to find something that you want to change about it that's not good enough or not perfect enough. But my advice is to make it the best you can and let it be out in the world. And if you have a time, a moment, a chance in your life to revisit or change it or whatever, make a different iteration of that, then you can do that. But don't focus on the perfection, making it the best you can, the best version of it, and move on. And it was, I don't know if instantly it clicked, but it's something that has just been on my mind since then. Like, I think even now, in this season of my life, and as being a designer or a creative person, like, I don't focus on perfection as much as I used to. And I'm so grateful for my professor at that time to say that you don't have to focus on perfection. And I think the reason why I say perfection versus intention is because going through self-development and all that stuff, just trying to learn how to improve myself, there's this word that kept coming up, and it was intention, just being intentional and stuff like that. And I felt like oftentimes when I create things, maybe it's an event, or maybe I'm thinking about a new product or a service or whatever, I want to think about the people and who exactly will be who will be receiving this. What am I trying to who am I trying to help in this time? So instead of trying to be perfect, like, oh, this has to be the best thing ever, think about, like, how can I create the best service, the best product for this person in this time, this moment, that can help them solve X. And I think when you come to terms with, okay, I'm doing this to help this person, and you're doing this with the best intention, I think that's better than just trying to be perfect or trying to manipulate or morph certain things into something instead of just coming from a place of intentionality. And what that looks like for me now versus what it was in the past, especially when I started creating these events. Sometimes in my local area, I will do a phone photography meetup, or I've done a meetup with someone where it was for, it was like a headshot and then a marketing thing. It was like me and someone else put an event together. And I think at some point I was feeling like, okay, I don't even know what am I doing? What am I doing? Who am I to be doing this? And is this even going to go well? What has helped me through those moments and the times when I would think about those, or those thoughts would come up, it was like, I know exactly who I want to help and why I want to help them. I know why I want to help these people, and I know that I have the ability to help these people. I'm not perfect at it, but I know that I can help solve their problems. Coming at it from that perspective versus like, oh, I have to put the perfect event, I have to have the best flowers set up, backdrop. Like, I think the person who's doing the thing, we think about it way more than others actually do. And I think I learned that lesson, and I think it's one of the things that has helped me to shift my perspective when I go in to do something either new, or when I remind myself or why I'm doing the thing that I'm doing. And the next thing I want to address is being different. And I know sometimes we'll be like, well, everyone's different, or everyone's the same, or everyone's unique, whatever you think. But from my perspective, a lot of us feel different, feel like maybe we're not fully understood, that no one fully understands what we're going through or how we feel. And everyone has their own story that they've lived through or that they tell themselves. And for me, one of mine was that I was just so different, so unique, so weird that I didn't believe that a lot of people truly liked me because of how different I was. And I thought like I stood out so much oftentimes that when I've noticed moments when I would be feeling like I stood out or I was different, that I would try to kind of go back into a shell. And that, I think, kind of feeds into the first thing about feeling like showing up on camera and feeling weird about it. But over time, what I've learned about being different or feeling different, whether you've been called names or you've been told that, hey, you're different or whatever, that's okay, that the way you see the world is the way that you see the world, and it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to be someone who thinks differently than others. You don't have to be the same, and you don't have to fit in. You can be in a crowd of people who think differently than you, and you can still exist within that group. Like, it's okay to not be, some people might think, the popular kid, or maybe you are the geek, or whatever that box you think it is. Like, you can be multiple, like, as a human, as a person, there's so many different layers of us. I was saying this at my meetup, my phone photography meetup. We were talking about posing and showing up on camera. And the thing that I've learned is that people have so many different layers of themselves. Sometimes you have the quiet version of yourself. You have the fun, the flirty version of yourself. You have the introspective part of yourself. You have the adventurous part of yourself. You have the calm part of yourself. There's so many different things that make you who you are, and there's not just one better than the other. Like, all the things that make you who you are, your body is not over here trying to rank you, or your mind. You don't need to try to rank each thing into like, this is better than the other, and try to compare the things. All of these things make up who you are, and at different levels and at different moments, other things could show up or shine more, and that's okay. I think learning to accept that is crucial and is so important if you want to live life more unapologetically, to accept that these are the different parts and layers of you, and to not shame yourself for being different or for wanting different things in your life. Not everyone in this world is going to understand you, and that's okay. If you are the person who has the vision of your life, and if you are the person who you know what you want out of life, that is more important than trying to fit into a box or trying to make and morph yourself into someone that you know deep down that is not what you're meant to be doing. And I just want to take a moment here, because like, feeling insecure about something doesn't mean that it's gonna go away. Like, I think our scars or the things that make us different, they don't fade. I think we learn how to accept and to live with these different parts of ourselves. And I think that perspective, that mindset on, hey, these are all the different things about myself. I might not always love how I sound on camera. Sometimes I even when I shut off this camera and I look back at footage, I'm like, I don't know if that was delivered. Like, I had my meetup recently, and I was trying to share and talk about different topics about posing and lighting and composition and different elements of photography and taking pictures with your phone. And I was looking back at footage and I was like, what am I saying? Like, this doesn't even sound right to me. And sometimes in the moment we might fumble on our words. And from me, as a person who's just starting, and not just starting, but I'm in a newer season where I'm learning how to communicate and become better at sharing my skills and being able to learn how to share things in a way that is, others can understand it. Sometimes we will fumble over our own words, our thoughts, or whatever we're going through, and that's okay. Knowing that this is not final, like, a new day, every single day you have the opportunity to improve and to get better at whatever it is that you're going through, has helped me to learn that insecurities are not totally a bad thing. They're just windows in our life that show us where we can improve more and learn more from ourselves. So if you have any insecurities or things that you might be going through that you're not totally confident in, maybe that's part of you where you can lean in and learn a little bit more of yourself and from yourself, of, maybe there's something there that you can learn from. So I just wanted to point that out and share kind of a few things I've gone through. If any of this is, if you've ever gone through something like that, just know that it's okay, that it's not the end all be all, and let your light shine. Let's not be a people who allow other people's perspectives and sometimes even our own thoughts to dim our lights and let us kind of fade into the background. I think as people, we're meant to be people who share and learn how to express ourselves in the best way possible. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you tomorrow.